What's going on, everybody? Brett here, my YouTube channel, Good Talk Gaming, and I'm excited to have you join me today because today we have more news about Battle Brothers, one of my favorite games of all time. I play it a ton on my channel. Feel free to check that out. I'm making another video today instead of waiting an extra week or two because a lot of you seem to really enjoy this video, and it got a lot of views, which is pretty important to me. So I'll just be open about that. But in addition, they have some pretty exciting updates here that I want to go over with you guys. I'll read it for those of you who can't quite look, um, and you're just kind of listening passively. So here, Nordic equipment. So this is something they kind of alluded to, and let's see what they say. It's Friday again. This week we'll take a look at some of the new Nordic and Rust-inspired equipment and player banners coming with the Warriors of the North DLC. Just keep in mind that things are subject to change, of course. Okay. So new banners. So coming with the Warriors of the North DLC are two new player banners. One is more inspired by Scandinavian Vikings, obviously this one, with the kind of um, dragon motif that the Vikings used to put on their long ships. The other by Rus Vikings. That's very interesting looking. I like that. Of course, you'll be able to print your shields or paint your shields with the motif of these new banners as well. These are pretty smart looking, I have to say. I haven't gotten too deep into the painting yet in this game. Some of my things are painted, but I have too many of by the time you get into the late game and you have all the money you need to paint things, you've got all these like unique shields and armors and helmets and things that you can't paint. So it's a little counterintuitive, but it is cool to paint your banner on your shields. And this one to me looks particularly sweet. This one kind of looks like like a legendary Pokemon or something. So many of you supported us beyond the asking price of the Beast and Exploration DLC by getting the Supporter Edition. We're very thankful, and your support has shown us how much you appreciate us creating more content for Battle Brothers. We'll also be offering a Supporter Edition for the new DLC as well. There will be more details at a later time, but for now, here's a preview of the bonus banner and painted shields that'll be included. So this one looks awesome. Definitely Viking inspired. It's got the white fur, kind of the unhold fur on it, kind of the Celtic knot symbols here. And I can't wait to see. It's mentioned that there's a new enemy type. I imagine it's the Vikings. So in the same way that there are kind of tiers to orcs, right? There's orc young, berserkers, warriors, and then a warlord, right? I'm imagining the Vikings are going to have like, raiders. Then it goes up to maybe like they might have their own version of berserkers. They might have like war chiefs, and then they might have their own type of warlord. And I'm kind of picturing this being kind of what he looks like, maybe. Because in the same way that the Kraken was kind of the motif for the last banner and this last DLC, this would be very fitting if this is kind of very similar to the Warlord. You can see kind of the almost like crown and giant beard that he has. This is what kind of got me the most excited, to be honest here. The new War Dogs. I have a buddy who doesn't play Battle Brothers, and I was like, you don't understand, man. They're making bigger War Dogs. And he was just like, yeah, whatever, dude. You lame. So the harsh climate of the northern tundra and hills is home to a hardier breed of war dog, the Warhound. Bigger and stronger than its southern brethren, it can bring a grown man down on its own and take more of a beating, but it is also slower and therefore less suited for chasing down runners. You'll face the Warhound in battle, and you'll also be able to purchase your own at Northern Settlements. I am crazy excited about this, way more than I probably should be. I love the Warhounds. Um, the War Dogs, I should say. These are Warhounds. I love the War Dogs in Battle Brothers right now. I pretty much use them. Half my squad is pretty much rocking with a War Dog at any given time. And I have them armored up. And yes, they're great for chasing down targets. They're also great for dropping in times of need to help distract enemies from attacking your critically injured brothers. They also can be very good at closing the distance between very troublesome enemies like Alps and things like that. So I get a lot of use out of them, even though they can be quite expensive to throw them away. In a video that I just posted this morning, uh, I'm not going to go into too much detail about exactly what happened in case you want to check it out. Good Talk Gaming on YouTube. But in case you want to check it out, I lost like every single war dog I had. It was worth it. It was worth it, but without their brave sacrifice, I don't know if I'd been able to execute that fight as well as I was able to. And they just look sick. I've always wanted, one of my favorite dog breeds in real life is an Ovcharka, or a Siberian Wolfhound, as they're sometimes called, or a Caucasian Wolfhound. They use them to guard like Russian prisons. And if I didn't have two small children, I would probably have one of those. And I can't wait to use these guys. The fact that they're slower, is definitely a negative, but the way I oftentimes end up using the Warhounds is really not just to chase them down. It's to almost add a completely, another brother to your lineup is what it feels like most of the time. And I can already see, like, with the new, how do they describe them? The company origins, the one that allows you to have 18 peasants on the field at once. Imagine having 18 peasants and they all have one of these types of war dogs. How insane would that be? The Warhounds. Just dropping, like having 18 brothers drop 18 Warhounds. I can already see the ridiculous builds that are going to ensue from that. That's kind of got me excited. But anyway, let's move on to the last thing here, which is the armor. And they're only showcasing helmets right now, but it says if your mercenary company operates in the north, and perhaps if it even hails from the north, by virtue of choosing the Northern Raiders company origin, which is this one here, and it's something that I may end up choosing myself for my first playthrough. You may want your men to look the part. The DLC will introduce various new helmets inspired by historical Nordic and Rus designs. Most of them will also come in extra fancy named variants to hunt for, so that's pretty cool. So if we check these out, so I'm guessing they're showing us the base ones and then the extra fancy ones is kind of what I'm seeing here. But very cool. Almost like a Viking meets Mongolian feel to them, which is, Mongolians had a pretty big part to play in Russian history at their particular era. And yeah, a lot of these scream Vikings, but some of them look very Eastern to me in their influences. But very cool helmets. I'm excited to see which ones are the more heavily armored. This one looks like it's got to be the heaviest armor of the bunch. Maybe this one? It's hard to say, but we'll definitely see when we get into it. Next week, I'm hoping for even more information. And guys, I'm glad you joined me for this. We'll just, just a little light video to go over some of the new updates. And yeah, just tell me what your thoughts are. I was not expecting a new type of war dog, and that's got me super excited. Of course, I was expecting banners and new arms and armor and, new backgrounds and all the stuff they told us about. But getting little extras like the war dogs to me really fleshes out the game and makes me even more excited to get to watch it. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, my name is Brett. My channel is Good Talk Gaming. Get hyped. Get hyped for Battle Brothers, guys. And if you're thinking about checking out this game and you haven't already, consider doing it. It's not an expensive game. And with all the DLCs currently out and the ones coming out very soon, there's really no better time to get into it and to start loving this game as much as I do. So thank you so much, guys, and I will see you maybe next week if the update is big enough. So take care, and I'll see you in the next one.